guys, welcome back, and today we're doing a very different type of video, and I really was kind of going back and forth on if I wanted to do this video or not, but it's been on my heart to do for a long time, and this might just be me venting and nobody might ever watch it, and that's totally fine. This is just my medium to express my opinions, and if you don't want to see anything about politics or current events or anything, then go ahead and just click on out, because that's completely awesome. But if you stay, just know that I expect the same from my friends and from anybody I get into a debate with or any kind of conversation with. Any comments left below better be respectful, because if not, I don't put up with that kind of nonsense. So I wanted to talk about the absolute and complete polarization of people in this country, and it's something that is absolutely devastating, and I see it and it absolutely hurts my heart. And if I get a little heated, I apologize. Just know that what I'm saying is out of passion and conviction, and that's where I'm coming from. So it's not from a place of hate or anger, especially with the political climate being what it is, and the kind of sensationalized rhetoric that we have on both sides, with lack of any kind of serious discussion in terms of what is realistic in the realm of reality. I feel like people have given way to absolute and utter insanity. And I feel that it is time for us to pull ourselves back, take a very calm and concise look at the people around us and what we are hearing from people around us, and stop and start thinking for ourselves. And I understand that people are extremely passionate about what they believe. I completely understand that, and I respect that. Me, myself, I'll lay it out there for you so you guys know where I'm coming from. I am a born-again Christian. I am a very, very much of the libertarian bent. I am socially, do whatever you want to do, what makes you happy. I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, we need more love in this world. So if you're gay and you want to get married, you go ahead and do it. If you are, feel like you are something other than what you were born as, you go ahead and do it. If you are a devout Christian who believes that marriage is between a man and a woman, that's fine. You go ahead and do it. But you live your life, and you leave everybody else alone unless you are going to treat them with respect. And that's just how I live my life. So I have my views. I am a born-again Christian, but I value the separation of church and state because it allows me to worship as I want to worship. Fiscally, I'm very conservative because I believe that capitalism and the free market are what make us great and what allows us to have the freedoms we have. So that's just a little bit of where I'm coming from. I have friends that are gay, that are straight, that are Christian, that are atheist, that are liberal, that are conservative, that are libertarian, and that's the way it should be. We were born to be together, not to be separated. And I feel like with all of this back and forth, us against them, black against white, gay against straight, trans against non-trans, whatever it is all a distraction from what is really the issue. And those are the so-called leaders in this country. I don't care if you're Republican, Democratic, I don't give a what you are. They are the problem. And because they are taking us away from the real problems by relegating us to nothing more than a label. If you look at me and all you see is a white woman, that's a problem. If I look at somebody and all I see is a black man or a gay man or a trans woman, that's a problem. I am not a white woman. I am somebody who is a loyal friend, who is passionate about my beliefs, who is artistic, who loves to laugh, who likes to get drunk and watch DuckTales. That's who I am. And if all you can see in me, or if all I can see in you is the color of our skin or your sexual orientation, then there is something fundamentally wrong with me, and with us in general. And what I'm not asking us to ignore the problems that the antiquated social construct of race has created, or the I'm not saying that if you are gay or straight, it's irrelevant. I'm saying, to me, it is, because I'm not going to look at you as gay or straight. It shouldn't matter. And when we allow the powers that be to relegate us to these labels, it is so dangerous. This form of collectivism is so dangerous because it removes our individualism and our humanity. And instead of me looking at you as a person, I look at you as the enemy, which is not the case. And I could go on forever about this, and I don't want this to come across the wrong way, because I have had this discussion so many times with friends. And I want to say I'm so lucky, because I have a makeup Facebook page, and that's because I am very opinionated on my regular page. And if you want to add me on my regular page, you are more than welcome to do that, but you need to be prepared for political discussion. And some of my best discussions come from people that I completely disagree with. These are people from high school or people from college, and we do not see eye to eye. But at the end of every conversation, it is always something like, thank you so much for this conversation. I am really lucky to have you as a friend. I have a friend who is way more liberal than I am, and I have known her since high school, and she's become one of just my favorite people to talk to on Facebook, because I know that when I go to her with a question or with an opinion, it's going to be listened to. And if we engage in a conversation or a debate, it is going to be with a level of respect that is just absolutely non-existent in the world, I feel like, right now. And I'm not saying I'm any better than anybody else, because there's other people out there, and I just feel like they're being overshadowed by the crazy, idiotic circus that is our political society right now. And you need to understand the hypocrisy coming from both sides, because it comes from both sides. You cannot claim to hate somebody. For example, you cannot be a liberal who claims to hate Trump for being rude and crude and racist and bigoted, and then go to a rally and violently attack his followers. They have the right to assemble and exercise their right to assemble and hear him speak, and he has the right to free speech, just as you have the right to peaceably assemble and protest. You cannot be a conservative Christian who wants the government out of our lives in certain aspects due to freedom of religion, because you want the freedom to practice your religion, and then turn around and say that your religion has the right to dictate who can marry who. Do you see the hypocrisy on both sides? It's absolutely maddening. There is no discourse. There is no sense of respect or a want to understand. It is angry words and diatribes and just talking points shouted at each other over and over and over again. And you know, when you enter into a conversation with respect, you're going to have more of a chance of making somebody understand your opinion than you are if you just shout things at them. And my sister is so smart. She says all the time, Heather, if you can't argue both sides of a topic, then you don't know it well enough to argue your side. And I completely 100% agree with her. And if I don't understand my opposition side enough to engage in debate, I will seek to understand it, to test my own opinions. And maybe they're valid and maybe they aren't. But we have to be able to admit when we are wrong, when we're, and we have to be able to back it up when we're right. I mean, we just have to. And, for those of you who don't know, I worked for Red Robin for many, many years, and I used to be a trainer for them. And as many corny things as they had in their training, there was one section talking about treating others with respect. And this has stuck with me for years. And it's listen to understand and speak to be understood. And there's nothing more valuable to me than that. And again, me and my friends, we will get into some heated arguments and debates, but at the end of the day, we love each other and we respect each other. And we know that why we get into these debates is because we want to understand and we want to be understood. And that is what I'm asking of anybody watching this video. If you have only friends that agree with you, you might need to take a step back and seek somebody out that doesn't necessarily agree with you, because that might be part of the problem, because you don't understand somebody else's side. So when you run into it, you have no sense of who they are. You just see them as the enemy. And this is something that is more dangerous to this country than anything else I can possibly think of. And I know I feel like I'm preaching here, and I thought for weeks and weeks on if I was even going to talk about this on this channel and in this format, but I feel like the respect that we have with each other is allowing me to get this off my chest. And that's all I can say, is that take a step back and trust yourself. Don't trust what other people are feeding you, especially people in power. Politicians should be viewed, any politician, with at most a cautious optimism, because the old axiom is true: power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And they are as much human as you or I, and at the end of the day, what drives you? You want to get up, get done what you need to get done to make your life better and to secure your place. And unfortunately, that's what politicians want to do, and they're going to do what they need to do to make their lives better. So instead of us fighting each other, we need to understand that we will have differences of opinion always, and that's what makes the world go round, and that's how you evolve as a person, is to hear things that are out of your comfort zone and take them and process them and either apply them or strengthen your own opinion after careful consideration. And I feel like we've lost that. And so I guess this is just a plea to do that, to listen to understand and to speak to be understood, and find common ground with somebody, because even if you don't agree with them, you can still respect them. And that is completely lacking. And I know that this is a weird medium to do this in, but I feel like this is such an accepting, open community with people from so many different backgrounds and lifestyles and religions and points of view, that this is a wonderful place to start this conversation. And I'm not trying to take away from the amazing, fun, awesomeness that is the makeup community in terms of focusing on something else. I'm just saying, in the comment section, in your daily life, on your Facebook account, find some common ground with people, because if we don't, we will allow ourselves to be relegated to something less than what we are. And I hope this long diatribe made sense to people. And again, maybe nobody listens to this, but if you did, and if you have thoughts on it, please share it down below. I am absolutely willing to listen to anything you might have to say. But remember, be respectful. And if somebody comments that's not respectful, don't give them the time of day. They aren't worth it, because if they can't comment with respect and articulate their ideas in a way that is not hateful, don't give them a leg to stand on, and just don't even respond to them. But I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it maybe gave you a little bit of something to think about throughout the day. But as always, thank you guys so much for hanging out and talking with me and spending time with me on my channel. And I just want to let you know, each and every one of you are very valuable to me, which is why I try and respond to everybody's comments. You guys are just awesome. But I hope you guys have an amazing day. Have a rockin' week, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.